Thanksgiving stuffing. You know, for some people, it's the absolute heart of the meal. For others, well, let's be honest, it can be a soggy, mushy disappointment. Today, we are going to dive into a recipe that's designed to fix all that. A recipe that can turn this often boring side dish into the absolute star of the show.
And this quote, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? If you've ever stared down a pan of bland, wet stuffing and had this exact same thought, then you are in the right place. We're about to go on a little journey from being a total stuffing skeptic to a true believer. And it all starts by fixing the things that usually go wrong.
So, how do you actually change someone's mind about stuffing? Well, the person who created this recipe was a self-professed doubter. You know, like a lot of us, they'd only ever had the underwhelming kind. But this one was a total game changer, and it's built on just a few simple but honestly brilliant ideas.
Okay, let's just call it out. What is the #1 crime committed against stuffing? It's that dreaded sogginess. You know what I'm talking about. It happens when you use soft, fresh bread, and it just acts like a sponge, soaking up all the liquid and turning into, well, paste. And this recipe, it tackles that problem head on by building a much, much better foundation.
Right. So if we want amazing results, we've got to start with the right stuff, prepared the right way. We're going to build this thing from the ground up, and we're going to focus on the two pillars of any great stuffing, the bread and, of course, all those delicious aromatics.
Let's be perfectly clear about something. The bread in this recipe is not just some filler. No way. It is the main event. The kind of bread you use, and this is the important part, how you prepare it is absolutely non-negotiable if you want that perfect, crunchy on top, soft in the middle texture everyone craves. So, the process here is so important. You want to start with a crusty loaf, something like a sourdough or French bread, because it has that built-in crunch. Now, using day-old bread is a classic trick, but the real secret, the crucial step, is that final toast. You're not just warming it up, you're baking it until it is completely dry and hard. You're basically making your own awesome croutons. This right here, this is your ultimate defense against sogginess. Okay, our bread foundation is solid. Now it's time to build those layers of flavor. And that all comes from this essential group of veggies and herbs. And I mean it, these are not optional suggestions. Do not skip these. They are the absolute soul of the dish.
So you've got your celery and onions, which give it that sweet aromatic base. And yeah, I know, 2 cups of onions sounds like a ton of chopping, but trust me, they cook down so beautifully. Then you add in that fresh parsley and that wonderful, piney, fresh rosemary. It just screams holidays. This combo is what makes your entire house smell like Thanksgiving. It's amazing.
All right, our foundation is prepped. Now for the really fun part, the secrets. We are about to get into the techniques and the one special ingredient that takes this recipe from just good to, oh my gosh, this is unforgettable.
So, we've got our perfectly crisp bread cubes. We've got our fragrant veggies ready to go. So, what's the X factor? What's that one single thing that's going to infuse a deep, savory flavor into every single bite and just take this whole dish to a completely different level?
That's it. One word, bacon. But it's not just about throwing some crispy bacon bits into the mix. Oh no. It's about how you use it.
And this is the genius of this recipe. You cook the bacon first, right? Get it all nice and crispy. Take the bits out. But you leave that rendered bacon fat in the pan. That becomes the cooking fat for your onions and celery. Every single aromatic gets sautéed in that smoky, savory goodness, just soaking up all that flavor. Then, you add the crispy bacon bits back in at the end. It's this incredible 2-for-1 punch of flavor and texture.
Okay, a quick but super important tip here on technique. When you're cooking those veggies in the bacon fat and a little butter, your goal is just to soften them for about 6 to 8 minutes. You want to gently release all their sweetness and aroma, not brown them or caramelize them. It's a subtle difference, for sure, but it makes a huge impact on the final flavor.
All right, we've done all the hard work. All our parts are prepped with care. The bread is crisp, the veggies are fragrant, the bacon is ready to go. Now it's time to bring it all together and make some magic.
So, putting this together is pretty straightforward. First, in a really big bowl, you just combine all your dry stuff. The croutons, the bacon, the cooked veggies. Then you pour in about half of the chicken stock to start getting the bread hydrated. But here's the key move. The eggs get whisked into the rest of the stock before you pour it over everything. This makes sure that egg is evenly mixed in, which is so critical for what happens in the oven.
So why the eggs? What do? Well, they're the magic binder here. As the stuffing bakes, those eggs set and they create a structure that holds everything together. But it's more than that. They create this unbelievable, rich, almost soufflé-like custardy texture in the middle of the stuffing. This is what gives you that amazing contrast with a crunchy top. It's just simple food science, but man, is it brilliant.
We've made it. We're at the final, and maybe the most important phase. All that careful prep won't mean a thing if we don't get the baking right. And this recipe, it uses this awesome 2-stage bake to guarantee that perfect texture we've been talking about. So right before it goes into the oven, you're going to spread the whole mixture into a buttered casserole dish. And for the final touch, just dot the top with little pieces of butter. This is going to add flavor, it's going to help get that gorgeous golden brown color, and it keeps the top from getting too dry.
Now look at this two-stage process. It's so smart. For the first 40 minutes, you bake it covered with foil. This traps all the steam inside, cooking the center and letting that egg mixture set into a moist, custardy dream. Then you take the foil off for the last 30 or 40 minutes, and this second stage, it's all about drying out that top layer, creating an irresistibly crisp, golden brown crust.
And that is the payoff. This isn't just stuffing anymore. It's a textural masterpiece. You get that rich, savory, fluffy inside right up against that crunchy golden top. It truly is the best of both worlds in every single bite.
So, what's the final verdict? Well, the dish is just pure coziness on a plate. The herbs are there, but they're perfectly balanced. The texture is just phenomenal. It's so hearty and satisfying. Oh, and here's a fantastic pro tip for you. If you happen to have any leftovers, pop them in an air fryer for about 10 minutes. It crisps the top right back up, and it tastes just as amazing as the first day. So, we come all the way back to that original question. Why waste a perfectly good loaf of bread? Well, after seeing this whole process, from making your own croutons to using that bacon fat and the two-stage bake, the answer's pretty clear, isn't it? You're not wasting bread, you're transforming it. The only real question left is, are you ready to become a believer?